Heavenly Father, we are thankful, Lord, that we're here this morning in your house again and in your family. We ask, Lord, that as we think about what Paul did, that you may also speak a word in regards to what we should do in our lives in order to glorify you. I pray, Lord, therefore, that the Spirit will be in us today and will guide and lead our hearing process. We pray all this in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. A while ago, an article in the New York Times captures my imagination. It is written by the columnist David Brooks. In this article, The Deeper Self, David Brooks points out that there is something in us humans that makes us different from animals. We are not just products of evolution. We are not just slightly higher than animals, as some evolutionists believe. We are much more than that. More than our ability to think rationally, what makes us uniquely human is our ability to attain depth. So people who are deep, according to Bruce, are rooted in something spiritual and permanent. These people have conviction about fundamental things. They love unconditionally, and they commit themselves to what is called transcendent projects, even though it may take longer than a lifetime for them to see results. What captivates me in the article is the suggestion as to how we can become deep. We become deep by choosing to suffer. We make commitments based on our convictions, right? To a nation, to a faith, to people we love, or to our calling. And then we endure the sacrifices that follow. And this, by the way, is totally against evolution principle. And as a result, we will grow deeper. The great theologian Paul Tillich says that when people suffer, they discover that they are not what they appear to be. The suffering scrubs away a layer inside themselves, which exposes a deeper layer. And then, as people suffer more, that layer is scrubbed away, revealing yet another deeper layer. And eventually, people get down to the core wounds and core loves. They discover the essence of what they are. At this point, they become the people God has created them to be. This morning I wonder if David Brooks is saying the very thing that drives Paul the Apostle. In his lifetime, St. Paul endures a lot of freely chosen suffering. He talks about it all the time. Sometimes we glorify people in the Bible. We think that they're so beyond ordinary, they do not suffer at all, or they don't doubt anything. Nothing is further away from the truth. The Apostle Paul's life is one great example of suffering. He says so in our text today. We are afflicted in every way. We are perplexed, persecuted, and struck down. He is just warming up, because later in chapter 11 of the same book, he lays it all out. 5 times I have received from the Jews the 40 lashes minus 1. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I received a stoning. 3 times I was shipwrecked. For a night and a day I was adrift at sea, on frequent journeys, in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits, danger from my own people, danger from Gentiles, Danger in the city, danger in the wilderness, danger at sea, danger from false brothers and sisters, in toil and hardship, through many a sleepless nights, hungry and thirsty, often without food, cold and naked. Who is weak and I am not weak? Who is made to stumble and I am not indignant? St. Paul's commitment is to preach the gospel. We all know that. Once he is convinced about the truth of the gospel, he cannot but to proclaim it. He explains in verse 13, I believed, and so I spoke. So Paul is like all of God's prophets before him. This is a biblical tradition. Once you are convinced about something, you are emboldened to speak about it, even though that's going to put your life at risk. This morning, I am intrigued by what causes Paul to continue despite the hardship. He reveals the reason in verse 16. So we do not lose heart. Even though our outer nature is wasting away, our inner nature is being renewed day by day. Is this not what David Brooks says early on? That people choose to suffer so they could grow deeper? Paul the Apostle does not lose sight of the eternal glory that's coming his way. He knows that in the end, we all are going to see Jesus Christ come again. And because of that, Paul says in verse 17, that this slight momentary affliction is but a small price to pay. St. Paul looks forward to that glorious end constantly, but in the meantime, he could not help but notice that something deep inside him is changing as well. And he welcomes that change. His inner nature is renewed day by day. What it means is, of course, he is manifesting more and more of the fruit of the Spirit. Right? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. All that is happening in his life. But my hunch is that he is also becoming aware that something of what Paul Tillich has observed is happening in him as well. Day by day, as he voluntarily suffers for the sake of the gospel, layers upon layers of false perceptions of self that has built up over the years are stripped away. Day by day, he sees in himself more and more of what is the essence of him. His core wounds and his core loves. And that which is truly him liberates him. I wonder if that awareness of deep self is what drives others to suffer as well. I wonder if this is what drives Jean Denis to suffer the pain of establishing his large community for the mentally disabled. In the summer of 1964, John Denis was still a captain of a ship. He's still a Canadian Royal Navy officer. And then in the summer, he made what he called a solid career move. He quit this position and then invited two mentally disabled people to live with him in this small village a little north of Paris. He called this community L'Arche, which is French for the ark. And we know that the ark is a biblical symbol of refuge and liberation. Since then, the large community has grown into a federation of more than 130 communities spread out on 6 continents in 33 countries. John Marie, the founder, is a deeply spiritual believer. His conviction is that people need community. So that's why all of his large communities are places where disabled people live together with non-disabled people. But in this kind of community, where there are all types of personalities, we know that conflicts are bound to happen. But that does not stop John Marie, because he sees conflicts precisely as channels of transformation. He says this when he was interviewed. We can be tired and start thinking, let's get out of here and do something else. Yet through all this suffering and pain and fatigue, we are seeing incredibly beautiful things. People are being transformed, and we ourselves are being transformed. Something has changed within us. We realize that we don't have to be in a world of power, rivalry, and competition in order to find our value. It's okay just to be ourselves. So we, in large, are continually in this paradox of pain, suffering, and resurrection. While I encourage us today to find something worthy and stick to it no matter the pain, that is how our inner nature can change, and this is how we attain death. St. Paul did it. John Marie is doing it. What is stopping us? May God help us.